Okay, we'll call to order the City of Douglasville City Council regular meeting for tonight, which is Monday, April the 19th. We will have our invocation by our own Emily Hardaway from the City of Douglasville, the Community Outreach Coordinator, and after that, we'll have the Mayor Pro Tem, Councilmember Terry Miller, lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand for the invocation.
Let's pray. Gracious Lord, thank you so much for the beautiful weather you've given us today and for reminding us of the beauty of spring. I ask that you please be with our mayor and council tonight as they vote on matters for our city. Please give them wisdom and discernment. Thank you for their service and their willingness to serve, and thank you for all the blessings that you bestow upon us. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem and Miss Emily. Thank you for the invocation. And it is a beautiful day today. We had a groundbreaking at Willing Workers Park, and it was very nice. So we will go through the agenda. I'd like to welcome you to the Douglasville City Council meeting. It's our regular voting meeting tonight. My name is Rochelle Robinson. I'm Mayor of the City of Douglasville. This is a voting meeting where agenda items were presented last Thursday, and we will be voting on those items tonight. So it'll be a little different than it was last week. It'll go a little quicker. If the business you're here for, any citizen wishes to speak, if it's not listed as an agenda item, there will be ample time under the agenda item comments from citizens and delegates section for you to discuss any other matters related to pending or potential city business. Just a few protocol issues I'd like to make you aware of before we start the meeting. I ask that you would please listen closely so there will be no misunderstandings on how tonight's meetings will be conducted. I would ask that you would keep your comments and presentations on a professional level dealing with the facts that are important for this governing body to make our decisions. We will not accept comments that are considered by the chair to be of a personal attack on any individual or group of individuals. You will receive a warning from the chair, and if you deviate from this requirement, a second deviation will result in the chairman discontinuing your opportunity to speak. Only one person speaking at a time, please. Please do not be disruptive in this meeting by speaking to others in the audience or applauding or any of that. But we'll remind you that we're only required to take or accept public comments during the required public hearings. We are not required to accept public comments on other items before the council. If you have any printed material, we would ask that you would please give that to our city clerk's office. Let me see, put my eyes on and see who's back there. It's Miss Candace, and she will accept those items and distribute them to the council, myself and council. If you have a pager, well, this says pager. If you have a cell phone or any electronic device, iPads or such, we ask that you would please put those in silent mode or power those off until after the city council meeting. Now, the agenda items will be handled as the following. The committee chairperson will read the agenda item. Then that person or representative of that applicant will make his or her presentation. Myself and council members will possibly ask clarifying questions if we have any additional questions from new material that we did not cover last Thursday. And we'll ask that we may ask questions about that. After that, the committee chairperson will ask for comments or statements from the audience. Again, there is a maximum of 20 minutes for those in favor of the item and 20 minutes for those in opposition, and each person has 5 minutes to speak. After that, and of course there are speaker sign-in cards that are out on the desk that you should have signed up and hand those to our Assistant City Clerk, Ms. Candace, and or if we have someone online. Do we, Ms. Jackson? Okay, we do have someone online virtually that would like to speak, and those persons can speak at that time. Prior to approaching the podium, please give your card to the City Clerk. And you give us your name and address for the record, and each person has one opportunity to speak on the agenda item. No second reappearances. This is not a question and answer format. This meeting is not a debate. We're just here to receive the information, consider that, and make our decision. Please address your comments to the chair and not the members of the audience. And again, we're only here to accept new comments or information as relates to the agenda items. I negated to say that this is an open meeting of the Douglasville Mayor and City Council. It's being conducted by teleconference consistent with the official code of Georgia annotated section 50-14-1G due to emergency conditions involving public safety in order to mitigate the transmission of the coronavirus and to reduce the risk of COVID-19. That section, which you can find posted with agenda materials for this meeting, allows for local governments to meet by teleconference in the event of an emergency, so long as means are afforded for the public to have simultaneous access to the teleconference meeting. For this meeting, we are convening partially by Zoom software as shown on the city's website, describing how the public may join, which is via YouTube media platform. All the elected officials that are here are attending in person, and we only have one absent, and Councilmember Dr. Berdanley is not joining us virtually. Is that correct, Ms. Jackson? Okay. Thank you so much. So those are all the instructions, and now we will go to the agenda, which is printed out on the desk, or it should be showing on the screen in front of us. So our next agenda item is the minutes. It's number 5. I will open the floor for minutes for the motion to approve the minutes of the legislative work session and executive sessions of April the 1st, 2021, and the regular meeting of April the 5th, 2021. I open the floor for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Thank you so much, Councilman Adams. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. I had simultaneous. Did you get it, Ms. Candace, the Councilman Estes or Davis? Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. It's been properly moved in second to approve the minutes. Do we have any questions or comments from council members as it relates to the minutes? Any corrections? Thank you. I don't see any. All those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The minutes are unanimously approved. Now I'll open the floor for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Councilman Davis. I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented from Councilman Davis. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. It's been properly moved in second to approve the consent agenda as presented. Do we have any questions or comments, any further deliberation as relates to the consent agenda from council members? I don't see any. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The consent agenda is approved. We'll move on then to item number 7, which is Economic Development Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Terry Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business at this time under the Economic Development Committee.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. We'll move on then to the next committee, which is Finance Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Mark Adams.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We
You're
have 3
welcome.
items tonight under Finance. Adopt an ordinance to amend the City of Douglasville's fiscal year 2020-21 general fund budget. Ms. Callen came before us on Thursday during our committee meetings and went over this. We again spoke of it on Thursday night in our regular meeting and in tonight's voting meeting. Prior to that, if there's anyone that has a question or comment, I'll start with Madam Mayor or with any of our council. Any questions concerning that? We've been over it twice.
No, sir, I don't have any questions. Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Chairman.
Was there anyone that had anything to say? Is there anyone that wanted to speak virtually, Ms. Jackson, on this item? Okay, seeing none, then I'll make a motion to approve item 21-147.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you so much, Councilman Estes. It's been properly moved in second to approve item 21-147. Do we have any comments or questions as it relates to this item? Any further discussion? Thank you. I don't see anyone's hands. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 21-147 is unanimously approved.
We'll move on to item B, adopt an ordinance to amend the City of Douglasville's fiscal year 2021 multiple grant fund budget. Same discussion, different item. Any additional information or questions that we have, Ms. Callen is here. If there may be any, I know that we did again discuss this in committees on Thursday, and it was presented to us also in our regular meeting on Thursday night. Question, comment? Okay, seeing none, then I make a motion to approve item 21-149.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you again, Mr. Councilman Estes. It's been properly moved in second to approve item 21-149. Do we have any additional comments or questions, any further deliberation as relates to this item? No. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 21-149 is approved.
Thank you,
Thank
Madam
you.
Mayor.
You're
Last
welcome.
item under Finance, authorize the mayor to sign the memorandum of understanding with Mill Creek Residential Trust LLC to allow for a due diligence period and to set forth the developer's financial proposal and timeline for the preparation of a mixed-use development project containing residential and commercial uses that would be adjacent to the prospective downtown green space. Mr. Sarowitz?
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good
Aaron
evening, Aaron.
Sarowitz, 6701 Church Street. Tonight we have Chris Pumphrey available for any questions you may have about the MOU that we discussed in executive session on Thursday night.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Pumphrey, would you like to come forward and give us your name and address for the record, and then provide us with any new information that you'd like to, and then we may have questions?
Does anybody else have issues with the mask and glasses like
Yes,
I
we
know,
do, sir.
always.
Does anyone else not have issues with them? How about that?
Well, good evening, everyone.
Good
Chris
evening.
Pumphrey, Elevate Douglas Economic Partnership, 8512 Bowden Street. It's exciting to be before you all this evening. This really is a momentous occasion for a lot of work has gone into the vision and planning for our downtown, and then more focused on the old jail property, which we now call the Town Green, site. So we went through the RFP process and have a developer selected for this project, and we've gone through a lot of discussions with the developer on the project, introducing him to you all as well and working with staff. And so we're really excited to be at this point today to have the first of 3 steps. The first step is a memorandum of understanding that really outlines the details, the structure of the agreement that will happen between the city and the developer, and then eventually with the development authority involved. The next step will be a purchase and sale agreement, followed up by a development agreement. But we're excited to be working with Mill Creek Residential Trust in developing Douglasville Town Green. This will be a mixed-use development focused on high-end luxury rental apartments and commercial retail space right here in our downtown, developing right alongside the Town Green. So it's a great project. A lot of work has gone into it up to this point, and a lot of work to come in the coming months. But we are nailing down this first step by agreeing to this MOU.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pumphrey. Questions? Madam Mayor?
I don't have any questions. I have a comment. I know, can you see the excitement? It's like balloons and everything flying in the air. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Pumphrey, I want to thank you so much for everything that you've done to help bring this project to fruition, meeting with the developer, and helping with all of those meetings that we had for almost 2 years. So thank you. As you collaborated with our staff and ARC, Kimley Horn. I'd like to thank the citizens for coming out and putting their input into the Town Green as well. We're very excited to have this particular development come alongside of our amphitheater that is proposed in the old jail site. We won't be calling it old jail site anymore. Very soon we'll be calling it the Town Green. But if citizens wanted to see some of the work of Mill Creek, they could, and I don't know if I leave a community out if you want to elaborate, but the Decatur area, the Atlanta Beltline, and Buckhead areas is where some of the developments from Mill Creek is located. So was there any other place near in the metro?
There may be 1 or 2 others, but we're going to actually have a press release as well and have their information out there so everyone can see it and see renderings and all that stuff. The conceptual renderings, obviously, it's not going to be necessarily look just like that, but the
Right.
conceptual renderings for the project. But they have some really great developments around the city. I think one of the ones that is under construction right now is at Lenox Road in Piedmont, right across from Atlanta Tech Village. So it'll look a lot like that. Not as much retail as that particular development has, but they all look fairly similar.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, my question, I do have a question. Our retail percentage, was it 20%, 30?
10,000 square
10,000
feet.
square feet. Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Pumphrey. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Sure. Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, the mayor
I stole
rather
your
eloquently
thunder.
stole a little bit of what I was going to say, but
apologize.
that's okay, because I think one of the most satisfying aspects of this project is once we see, some dirt being moved and some cranes out on the site will be the fact that we will no longer be using the term old mill site. I mean, rather, we won't be using that on another project, but we won't be using old jail site on this one as well. So that's going to be, I think, one of the more satisfying things is putting that term to rest and calling it the town green. So that's all, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Others? Yes, Mr. Evans.
I really just want to say how exciting this project is for all of us. And I would like to thank you and Mr. Pumphrey and Mr. Sarowitz and everybody on staff who has worked so hard to make this a reality to this point. I think this is going to be an incredible jewel for the city of Douglasville, and to have it right in the heart of downtown is amazing. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Others?
Mr. Chairman, I did have one more thing to say. I apologize. Can I have a second appearance, although I said you?
So allowed.
No, I just wanted to say to the citizens as well, I have gotten just a very few comments about some places else located in the city of Douglasville that, what are we going to do for that area? But again, we are looking at the entire city in totality to see how things connect, as we talked about at Willing Workers Park today, to do a bike and pedestrian study to see how the connectivity for all of our parks into the entire city so that everyone can walk around and ride bikes and be more mobile. But again, not just because I live in the downtown, but every city, when you start in your downtown, that's the heart of your community, and that reverberates throughout the entire community. So we are going to looking everywhere in the city, but we have to start where we're choosing to really start to focus on the downtown, and then, of course, spread that out through the entire city of Douglasville. So we have not forgotten about the people in Chapel Hills. We haven't forgotten about Tributary. We have not forgotten about the Horizons, North Side. We're just focusing on this area now, but we do have complete studies for our parks, streets, resurfacing, which encompass the entire city. But we're starting with the downtown to help boost and revitalize the entire community. You start with the heart of your city first, which is always your downtown area. So that's all I want to say. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anyone else?
I think the city is proving that we can walk and chew gum at the same time.
For Station 2, yes, sir.
Mr. Pumphrey, I will echo my thanks, but I don't want to pour water on our fire.
Sure.
But and staff knows, and everyone else, that this is step one. And you've said that, and I just want to make sure that we don't outpunt our coverage here. We have several steps to go, but it is exciting, it is a start, and we look forward to that coming to fruition. Any other comment?
A big step one, but it is step one.
It is a big step one, yes. Ms. Jackson, was there someone that had a comment virtually? No, sir. Okay. Seeing none, then, I'll make a motion that we approve item 21-187 to authorize the mayor to sign that memorandum of understanding.
Second.
Thank you so much. It's been properly moved by the chair and second by the Mayor Pro Tem to approve item 21-187. Do we have any additional comments or questions as relates to this item? I know I've been talking a lot myself. Okay, not seeing any. All those in favor of approving, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 21-187 is unanimously approved. Is someone on the line?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. That's all that we have tonight under finance.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. We'll move on then to Housing and Community Affairs Committee. I believe the Vice Chair is Councilman Davis.
No items at this time, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vice Chair. Legislative and Intergovernmental Committee, that's chaired by Councilmember Samuel Davis.
No business at this time, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Personnel and Organization Committee, that's chaired by Councilmember Chris Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business tonight under Personnel and Organization.
Thank you, Coach Watts. Planning and Development Committee, chaired by Councilmember Mark Adams.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome.
Planning and Development Committee does have several items tonight. We'll start with item A, motion to remove from the table item 21-102. Place that in the form of a motion.
Thank you so much. We have a motion to remove from the table item 21-167.
Second.
Thank you, or 21-102. It's been seconded by Councilmember Estes. Do we have any questions or comments as it relates to removing this item from the table from council members? I don't see any. All those in favor of removing item 21-102, item 21-167 from the table, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. A has been removed from the table.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome.
Tabled from March 15, 2021, this is item B, hold a public hearing and consider a request for a change in zoning from PUD Planned Unit Development District to LI Light Industrial District in the Quality Growth Development Overlay District for 22.17 acres at 1330, 1340, and 1346 Mount Vernon Road, land lot 715, District 18, Section 2, parcels 5, 8, and 15. Application by LBA Realty, care of Doug Dillard. Ms. Williams, you have other information for us tonight?
Patrice Williams, Community Development Director, 6701 Church Street. At this time, I do not have any additional information to add. The applicants are with us if you do have any questions for them.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. I'd ask the applicant, if they do have new information that they would like to share during this public hearing, please come forward and do that for us, and then we will open the floor for comments for those speaking either for or against. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for having me again. My name is Baxter Russell with Dillard Cellars, 1776 Peachtree Street Northwest. Here with me tonight, we've got the team that was at the presentation the other evening, the LBA Realty team, Mr. Dave Paquette, Mr. John Wise, and Mr. Sid Howman. I want to be respectful of everyone's time. I'll keep my comments very brief. I don't have any additional information to add, no additional changes to our site plan, but for the record, for the sake of anyone listening or anyone in the audience, I do want to reiterate a few points, including that our request is for a rezoning of these 3 parcels from PUD to light industrial. I also want to reiterate and point out the site plan modifications that we've made in order to hopefully do our best to address the traffic and safety concerns, as well as the visibility and appearance issues along Mount Vernon Road. But moving forward, I also want to highlight my client, LBA Realty's commitment to continue working with the neighbors and the county for those issues that may come up, specifically as they're related to Mount Vernon Road. Thank you all again, members of council, for your comments and feedback on this project. Thank you to staff for working with us, and for those neighbors who met with us and worked with us to really hear and understand the problems that they face across the street from us and dealing with the Mount Vernon traffic issues. We're, of course, available to answer any questions that you have tonight, but I'll close my remarks and ask that you follow the recommendation of staff and approve this rezoning request. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Russell. Does anyone, council or Madam Mayor, have questions for the applicant? You have heard his other comments. Yes, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem?
I'm not sure if this is for the applicant or for staff, but we were just before the meeting, we were handed a new aerial view of the site. Is there information on this that was not already previously presented? It looks a lot like what's already in the packet. Yeah.
We've not seen that, so I'm not sure what that is.
I'm sorry?
We've not seen that attachment, so I'm not.
Yeah, this.
Just a moment, sir. We'll give you opportunity to speak in just a moment.
That's my attachment, sir.
We'll give you opportunity to speak in just a moment. So, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I'm assuming, and I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth, but since staff has not seen this and it has been handed out to us, we'll allow the gentleman to come forward and speak
Yeah, I'm
concerning
not
this.
even sure what the source of this was,
Exactly.
but it was given to us prior to the meeting, so I
Okay.
just wanted to
So,
figure
Ms.
out if there's
Williams,
some new
you-
information on this that wasn't presented
Okay.
previously.
Okay. Okay, let's go ahead then.
Mr. Chairman, I
I'm
apologize.
sorry, Madam Mayor, go ahead.
That's okay. I was going to say, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I apologize I didn't get your attention before. I had a in-person workshop with Water and Sewer Authority on Friday and Saturday, and so Madam Chair and I were together, and I said I would speak with her about the transportation issues, and so she and I both drove over the area of Mount Vernon. And she has made some notes and said that she's a vice chair of transportation, so she would talk with Commissioner Robinson and their transportation director, Mr. Valentine, and give us, the city, a call with some recommendations and try to work together to mitigate some of the transportation issues in this area. So I want to follow up to let Attorney Russell, LBA team, and the community know, and Councilman Estes, of course. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Other comments of council for the applicant, first of all? Okay, then we will open the floor for those that may be here to speak tonight. This being a public hearing, please giving us new information. We've already held a public hearing on Thursday. This is the second in our voting meeting, so I welcome those of you that would like to speak to come forward. Give us your name and address for the record, and we'd love to hear from you concerning this item.
Good evening. Stephen Landry, 1850 Jenny Lane, Lithia Springs. I want to just address, this is my handout, so thank you for accepting it.
Sure.
I just wanted to point out, number one, that I'm here speaking as a proponent for the project. I'm not against it. I'm for it. I appreciate what they're trying to do. I appreciate that the applicant has worked with us for this. I think it's good for the city. Looking forward to the income for the city and the area, the jobs that this potentially brings in. But my only point is, as the citizens, we had two main points, and that's the traffic and the aesthetics of it. I specifically want to talk about the traffic situation, and thank you, Mayor, for bringing this up. And my only request is that the committee consider the entranceway to the new warehouse to be through the Staples, the existing Staples distribution center. If there's any way to come in through there, all the infrastructure is already there. And I just want to point that out with my handout, that there's already a traffic signal at the intersection of Lynch Road and Blair's Bridge Road and Monia, where all that intersects. There's already a traffic signal there. However, at the intersection of Lynch Road and Mount Vernon, there's nothing there. That's a 90-degree turn, and I think with the entrance to the new warehouse being on Lynch Road, it's just attractive to semis to use that Lynch Road, Mount Vernon intersection. And also I want to do is, as you go forward, talking with the county, please consider an alternate entrance to this facility to be through that Staples distribution center. The applicant stated that they do own that building, that facility. So that's all I want to do, is ask that you consider that as you go forward.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Ms. Hampton is telling me that we have, first of all, is there anyone else in the audience tonight that would speak either for or against this item that is present in the audience? If so, please come forward. Give us your name and address for the record, and we would welcome your comments.
Well, I appreciate you listening to me. My name is Perry White. I'm at 1885.
Come up to the mic, Mr. White, speak. We have people that may want to hear online, and so.
I apologize.
No
My name is
problem.
Perry White. I'm at 1885 Jenny Lane. If you know where that is, it's the hill that overlooks the whole site. So pretty much I'm farther up than anybody else is, and I look right over the street of this area. And Mr. Burkett had done a great job discussing this with us, and I think they were really trying to do a lot. A couple things that I don't really quite get. I mean, we had a lot of discussions, and they were going to get back with us on certain things about how much growth can come up and how long it's going to take to actually start seeing the coverage in this area. None of that actually came back to us. The other thing, I'm not sure, maybe it's just a point of contention, is that we got notified originally on the initial council meeting and zoning meeting, but on the second one, we actually all missed it except for Sherrard's wife. I mean, and we didn't get any notifications on that. We forgot about it. So literally, that's why there was only one person here on the 15th instead of the whole community again like we had last time. So that's just something I was kind of curious about, why we didn't get notified. It was just too late by the time we actually got notified by Sherrard's like Yolanda. So anyways, as Mr. Landry mentioned, there's two couple things. One is the actual traffic on Mount Vernon Road. It's horrible to start with. And you talked about talking to the county, and that's great, but the county's not really put any input into whether they're going to do anything or not. And that's really still our concern, is this traffic, especially if they're coming through Mount Vernon, there's no way to stop that traffic going through, then it's really, really bad. I mean, their plan is much, much better than it was. I completely agree. They're trying really, really hard, but without county input, I don't see that we can really be assured how it's actually going to work out. And again, we're not sure of the coverage. I have the worst view of all, so I'm concerned about the coverage. Right now, I see nice pine trees in front of me. What's going to happen is, obviously, I'm above the grade where my house is. It's about 30 foot above the actual level of the road, which is where they're dropping the grade down, so the actual, everything else is coming up over that. So anyway, that was my concern. The last thing is, we did talk to Mr. Burkett about, we're all expecting property values to drop because we're rezoning right next to us. And I think they actually have a fairly good plan, but we thought, well, can they do something like put a sidewalk in down to the actual park, which would really make it nice for families that actually want to walk down there, because right now you can't walk from our area down to the park. It's horrible. There's no sidewalk. The streets are terrible, and the traffic is so horrendous. How many times we've actually hit the sign to the park. So again, that was something we brought up that they could do, and they said they were thinking about it, but we never heard anything else back that either. So that's all I had.
Question, Mr. White, if I might. Have you seen the new revised renderings of the expanded landscape buffer and
Yes,
the
I have.
trees that were planned? I would have to say that in all fairness to you and to the applicant, I think we're going to be very much remiss in trying, they or us as a city, trying to give you an idea of how fast coverage is going to be able to be created when we are not in control of the climate. We're not in control of the temperature. We're not in control of the growing season.
No, I understand.
So that was my response there. Again, I'll go back to our comments, which we've discussed on Thursday night. First of all, you did not receive more information or more notice because the item was tabled. Our city manager has reminded me of that. It was tabled, so it was continued, same item, just continued. I don't think there was anything that was done intentionally to try to inform anyone, but that tabling then automatically, it's already referred to additional meetings, future meetings that were stated at that time. So that's the reason for that. And there was a third item. Yes, the traffic, and our mayor has already mentioned that situation. It is unfortunate that we, as a council and as a city, are put in a position where we have a piece of property that's being applied for rezoning that just happens to sit bordering a county road, and we have no control over what they do. My suggestion is going to be, whether there's a rezoning here or not, that you all as a group, as an association, as neighbors, take that up with the county, because you are the ones, for lack of a better word, you're the ones in the trenches. You're the ones that are there. You see it, you live it, you're there every day. You see the accidents, you see the illegal turns or the high speeds and things of that nature. And we can only do what our mayor has already done, because we do not have control of the intersection of Lynch and Mount Vernon. We do not have control as the city of Mount Vernon. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we had a letter from the park that they really did not want to see connectivity down Mount Vernon Road. Again, that right-of-way being owned by the county, they would have to then be able to secure a location for a sidewalk, not something that we could do on county right-of-way. Yes, Madam Mayor.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. You eloquently responded to those concerns, Mr. Chairman, especially the traffic. I just wanted to add, Mr. White, that I do have confidence that we can work something out with the county in the near future. For example, the Madam Chair and I really talked about having a light at Riverside Parkway and Fairburn Road, and I know there's a light there now. She drove me through to let me see. Initially, when there were a lot of accidents, she asked the Sheriff's Department to come out and do traffic during the busy hours, going to work and coming home from school and all of that. And then there's another light, I think it's right before Derelict Park or somewhere in that same area, but there are two consecutive lights on Fairburn that really is the county's jurisdiction, but a lot of concerns were from city and county residents. Right. So again, with her saying that she's the vice chair of transportation now, that she would bring those items up to the transportation chair and her traffic director of transportation, I pray that we'll make some, we'll just stay in contact to make certain that something is done and that, she will address that to the residents, to you all that live in that area.
Well,
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate the
Yes, sir.
listening to me and the response, and I just want to mention what we had.
And
Well,
I know
thank
we're
you.
all in the community together, we live together, we're neighbors, so we're not trying to shirk any responsibility, we just don't have any jurisdiction over county property. Yes, sir, thank you.
Thank you. Others? I understand we do have someone virtually that would like to speak. Madam City Manager, that is Ms. Deborah Landry, is that correct? Is Ms. Landry with us?
Yes, I am.
Go ahead with your comments, Ms. Landry. Give us your address, name and address for the record, and then go ahead with your comments, please.
Yes, I'm at 1850 Jenny Lane, and it's Deborah Landry. And I guess my big concern is the future with the county. It's just I'm not totally against the project in itself. I'm just very, very leery. The road itself of Mount Vernon is in need of desperate repair. That's just the physical road, and it's not just the trucks. There's actually there is another warehouse that has been just recently built with no tenant in it as of yet, and so we haven't even felt the traffic, the potential traffic of that particular warehouse, and now we're building another one, and I feel like this section of where we live is kind of not viewed as being important to be maintained or upkept. So I feel like by saying yes to this project, I feel like all of the cards are on someone else's table, and and as residents, we are just going to just take what we can get. And it's just an unfortunate feeling that we have. If we're voting on this and saying yes, then everything is for the future. It's just uncertain, and we have no leg to stand on at all. And I'm done. That's all I have to say about that.
Thank you, ma'am. I believe that Councilman Estes had something he'd like to say.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Adams. First of all, I appreciate the comments from the citizens, both in favor and in opposition. It's difficult for us as council members to make these decisions, particularly when we're dealing with the city property, as Mr. Adams said, right next to county property. We only have control over the city portion. That being said, I do appreciate the residents working with the developer, and I would like to request, almost demand of the developer, that if this project is approved by the council today, that you all continue to work with the residents and continue to try and work with the county to satisfy these very real concerns of the residents surrounding this parcel. Traffic is a big concern. You all have done everything, I think, that you can do from your angle to alleviate those issues, but it cannot hurt to have pressure on the county from a developer. So if this does go through this evening, I would expect that you all will continue to work with the residents to get them the best situation that is possible.
Coach Watts, did you have something?
Just a clarification, make sure I'm looking at this right. Some of the changes that came about it's my understanding there are no entrances now with this warehouse off of Mount Vernon. Is that correct? Other than gated entrance only for emergency use?
That is correct.
So and then trucks are going to have to come in off of Thornton because there's, they can't make a left, I don't think, or they can only make a left. They can't come in and make a right off of Lynch. Am I correct on that?
I'm going to refer back and allow the developer, according to his site plan, I don't have it in front of me. I've kept it off my screen so that I could keep up with where I was.
It just, looking at it, I think that's what I remember. Anyway, I think that this particular project is not going to add to the already problem on Mount Vernon that we've all discussed quite a bit, and the citizens have discussed with us. So that's acknowledged, and I think Madam Mayor's influence in this will help. But it's going to take something like, trucks not being allowed. I mean, the county can dictate truck traffic on Mount Vernon. It just, and one thing I'll say to the citizens is when you show up like you do at our meetings, showing up at their meetings, and I don't know what their format is if they have the opportunity to speak.
They do.
And I think that kind of feedback will help with this traffic situation. But I just wanted to point out that some of the concerns about entrances, off of
Staples Building.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Others? How much time do we have left? I'm sorry?
For comments, we have about 10 minutes.
Okay. Anyone else that would like to speak? Any rebuttal that the developer would like to make? I don't see any others that would want to speak in the public hearing. We can close that portion of it. Is there anything else that the developer, you didn't ask for any time to rebut, but in case you wanted to make a comment, we do have time.
Just specifically commenting on the commitment that's asked of us. That's something that we're willing to do because we are going to be neighbors in this community. And as we've stressed this whole time, we want to be good neighbors. And this is just the first step of this, getting this development done and getting, having an economic engine at that site is what we're requesting today. So we would, of course, be back before you for a development plan. There are other steps along the way as well, but we make the commitment that you've requested tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comment? Okay, we have closed the public hearing on this item. And barring any other comment that council or Madam Mayor may have, then we'll move forward. Item B is item 21-102. I'll make a motion that we approve.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you so much, Councilman Estes. It's been properly moved and second to approve item 21-102. Do we have any additional comments or questions as relates to this item from council members?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I would
Yes,
just,
sir, Mr. Chairman.
I would just say to Mr. Russell and to his group and to the developers that you have heard the request. You have heard all but the demand from our fellow councilman who serves in that ward. And I appreciate your working with the citizens as best that you've been able to. And hope that you'll be able to stand up under that pressure. Thank you. That's all, Madam Mayor.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And like I said, I'm hopeful for conversations with the county as it relates to this traffic issue. The 25 years I've been here, of course, Tributary has grown, and I was on city council many years ago when we started the Tributary area, which is a beautiful community, but it really has developed and grown, and hopefully we can mend the Mount Vernon area and Lynch Road and all the neighbors that have been there for many years into this new community, because Riverside and Fairburn was a horrific area for not having a light, a traffic light to help with the traffic, and having that conversation that's just recently been done in addition to 2 other lights in that same area. So I am hopeful and will continue to talk with the county to get this issue remedied. Thank you. Any other comments? Not seeing any. All those in favor of approving 21-102, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Nay.
Raise your hands, please, so we can have a current count of the nays. Raise your hand. Just one. Two. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. The ayes have it. 21-102 is approved.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're
We'll move
welcome.
on to item C. Make a motion to remove from the table item 21-132.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion to remove from the table 21-132. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Estes. Item 21-132, all those in favor, we have any questions or comments? All those in favor of removing from the table, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? The ayes have it. 21-132 is removed from the table.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome.
Our iPads are moving rather slowly tonight.
It
It blocks
is.
our screen, so I apologize for the delay.
No problem.
Having removed that from the table, then it was tabled April 5th, 2021. This is item D, consider a request for approval of a development plan for Sweetwater Point for 5.062 acres at Stewart Parkway and Douglas Boulevard, located land lot 130, District 2, Section 5, Parcel 90, for plans dated February 18th, 2021, application by Alan Collins. Ms. Williams?
Patrice Williams, Community Development Director, 6701 Church Street. I have no new information to add at this time. I've not received any additional information from the applicants as well, but they are here if you have any questions for them.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Does the applicant have any additional information they would like to provide? Please come forward. If so, give us your name and address for the record, and we would love to hear you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Alan Collins with Foley Design at 950 Lowry Boulevard, Atlanta, Georgia. We do not have any questions or comments to add, but I am here to field any kind of questions that you may have. Also, my client representative here is also, if we need to answer any kind of questions as well.
Thank you. Questions, comments? Anyone? Is there anyone online or virtual? Ms. Jackson? Okay. We've heard this. It was tabled. It's been brought back before us now, and it's here tonight to be voted upon. I make a motion on item 21-132 for approval.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you so much, Councilman Estes. It's been properly moved in second to approve item 21-132. Do we have any additional comments or questions from the council?
Madam Mayor, I do. I just want to make sure that we have a clear understanding of how we should be moving forward now with the development plan as drawn, now having the good graces of the fire marshal and fire department as to safety and so forth, and that hopefully we won't have any other issues. But if so, please come and let us know. Let's work through them. We thank you. That's all.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Do we have any additional comments, any more deliberation as it relates to this item? Thank you. Not seeing any. All those in favor of approving item 21-132, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 21-132 is unanimously approved.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you, Mr. Collins, applicant.
We'll move on to item E. Consider a request for revised plat approval for Douglasville Crossroads for the purpose of revising lot lines for Tract 4 for 2.51 acres at 1,000 Linenthal Drive in land lot 161, District 2, Section 5, Parcel 94. Application by HRC Incorporated. Ms. Williams?
Patrice Williams, Community Development Director, 6701 Church Street. I have nothing new to add. I've not received any additional information from the applicant, so we'd like to recommend approval for this item.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. I noticed that HRC does have a representative here, Mr. Walter Rowe. Mr. Rowe, did you have any information to add to this that needed?
Do not. Walter Rowe, 12301 Veterans Memorial Highway, Douglasville.
Thank you, sir.
No new information.
Appreciate that. This basically is, as I understand it, a housekeeping item trying to clean up lot lines there in that development just outside of the Walmart Center. No questions or comments of anyone? Seeing none, then I make a motion that we approve item 21-177.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem and Councilman Watts. Did you get it, Ms. Candace?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you so much. Any additional comments or questions as relates to this item? All those in favor of approving 21-177, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 21-177 is unanimously approved.
Thank you, Mr. Rowe. Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
We will move on then to item F. Consider a request for revised plat approval for Concourse Center for the purpose of revising lot lines for lots 9 and 10 for 4.09 acres at 7101 and 7055 Concourse Parkway, Land Lot 161, District 2, Section 5, Parcels 10 and 44. Again, application by HRC Incorporated. Ms. Williams?
Patrice Williams, Community Development Director, 6701 Church Street. Again, this item is very similar to the last item. We've not received any additional information, but as you know, the applicant is here if you have any questions for them.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Williams. And I'm going to assume, Mr. Rowe, there's no questions or no additional information on this item either? Okay. Anyone have any comment or question concerning the item? Again, housekeeping on their part. If not, then item F, we'll make a motion 21-178 for approval.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. You had in unison. Did you get who you need, Ms. Candace?
Still waiting. Okay, we have Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay. It's been properly moved in second by the Chair, Mayor Pro Tem, to approve item 21-178. Do we have any additional comments or questions as it relates to this item? Not seeing any. All those in favor of approving, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 21-178 is unanimously approved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We will move on to item G. Consider a request for revised final plat approval for Riverside West Phase 2 for the purpose of identifying the Mason House within Tract A and removing Tract E for 355.279 acres at North River Road, Land Lot 166, District 1, Section 5, Parcels 1, 2, and 4. Land Lot 173, District 1, Section 5, Parcel 2 and 11. And Land Lot 998, District 18, Section 2, Parcel 1. Application by Brian Cardoza of Rooker Riverside LLC. Ms. Williams?
Patrice Williams, Community Development Director, 6701 Church Street. I have no new information to add. Mr. Cardoza, the applicant, is on the line if you have any questions for him.
Good evening, Mr. Cardoza. Hope you're doing well.
I am, Councilman. Thank you.
Any information that you need to give us in addition to what has been provided for the revised final plan?
No, sir, but I'm happy to answer questions if any of you have some.
Okay, thank you. Questions of council or Madam Mayor? Seeing none, then I make a motion to approve item 21-176.
So much, Mr. Chairman. I apologize. We have a motion to approve item 21-176. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you so much, Councilman Estes. Do we have any additional comments or questions as it relates to this item? Not seeing any. All those in favor of approving 21-176, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 21-176 is unanimously approved.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome.
We'll move on to the last item tonight. Consider a request for final plat approval for the purpose of subdividing into two lots, 38.782 acres at 1551 Riverside Parkway and Land Lot 176, District 1, Section 5, Parcel 1. Application by LMC Riverside Holdings, LLC. Ms. Williams?
Patrice Williams, Community Development Director, 6701 Church Street. I have no new information to add. Mr. Ray Crocker is on the line if you have any questions for him.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Crocker. Any information that you need to add to your application?
Good evening. No new information to add.
Thank you, sir. Are there any questions for Mr. Crocker by the council or Madam Mayor?
I don't have any, Mr. Chairman.
Again, I understand that this is, basically, Ms. Williams, this is something that they're wanting to do to split into two phases, something that was already approved, and they're just identifying the two parcels, correct? Okay. Seeing no other question or comment, then I'll make a motion that we approve item 21-179.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you so much, Councilman Estes. It's been properly moved and second to approve item 21-179. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 21-179 is unanimously approved.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. That's all that we have tonight.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate that. We'll move on then to item number 13, which is Public Improvement and Beautification Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Nicole Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business this evening.
Thank you, ma'am. Public Relations Committee, chaired by Councilmember Howard Estes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The Public Relations Committee has no business this evening.
Thank you, sir. Public Safety Committee, chaired by Councilmember Samuel Davis.
Yes, ma'am, I have one item, and this item is item A. Hold a public hearing to consider a request in the change in agent outlet manager for the alcoholic beverage license for the on-premises sale and consumption of wine and malt beverage and spirituous liquor at the following establishment: licensed GMRI, INC, DBA, the Olive Garden Italian Restaurant number 1531, location 6710, Douglas Boulevard. Current agent outlet manager Mario Cacelli, proposed agent outlet manager Kevin Williams. Required fees have been paid into the finance department. Mr. Williams, please come down, sir. Give us your name and
Mr. Williams didn't bring salad again tonight.
Kelvin Williams, 6710 Douglas Boulevard. And I did want, my staff did tell me I need to find out your next meeting so that we can supply some food for you. It's a courtesy that we do it with the police department and everybody else, so we definitely want to make sure we add you guys to that list of individuals we do that for, so.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, if you don't, I mean, it's the fettuccine, it's the spaghetti, it's the Alfredo sauce, the meat sauce, marinara sauce. You get the meatballs.
You're talking my language.
Meatballs, chicken, sausage, salad, breadsticks. I mean, if you don't want it, I understand. But
We have budget hearings coming. Our city manager can talk to you about that.
Okay.
That's right. So we have any mayor and
Thank
council
you.
got any more questions for the applicant?
Mr. Chairman, I don't have a question, I have a comment, and I can feel for you in the position that all of our restaurants are being placed in, and we took the opportunity to speak to you about it on Thursday night, and I'm sure that over the weekend it probably hasn't gotten any better, but we do empathize with you on the difficulty you're having as far as staffing. I just hope that that will come back so that we can regain some sense of normalcy, and I appreciate what you all are doing in trying to make it happen.
Yes, the biggest issue is trying to get the public to understand that we want to serve them. We want the business. We want the normalcy to come back, but the staff is what drives the engine. I mean, if the staff is not there, there's not much we can do. And as a company, we've done everything. Our minimum wage for our company is $10 per person, regardless of what position you're in. We've got where we're offering referral bonuses to our staff, giving them, if they refer somebody to us, they actually get $100 for doing that.
Wow.
So that we're doing everything that we can to try and make things a lot better. And I'm glad to say that I was riding through the system, and I think Applebee's they shut their business down and did just to go and delivery only last night because they didn't have the staff to do it. And I'm glad we're not having to do that, but I feel for them, and I can understand why it's happening.
Thank you. That's all I had.
Okay, thank you. Well said, Councilman Adams. And we hold the public hearing last week, so this week we're good. So, Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion we approve 21-181.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you so much, Councilman Adams. It's been properly moved in second to approve item 21-181. Do we have any additional comments or questions as it relates to this item? Not seeing any. All those in favor of approving, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 21-181 is unanimously approved. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Come back to see us. All right. That's all I have, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll move on then to Recreation, Culture, and Tourism Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Chris Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business tonight in Recreation, Culture, and Tourism.
Thank you, sir. Technology Committee, chaired by the Mayor Pro Tem Terry Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business at this time under the Technology Committee.
Thank you, sir. Transportation Committee, the vice chair is Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business under the Transportation Committee either at this time.
Okay, thank you, sir. Other business, is there any other business to come before the council tonight from council members? Only thing I would say is the state of the city and county is Wednesday at 11:45, 11:30, 1 o'clock. I understand the tickets are all sold out for in person, but we do have links and that you could watch online. But City Manager, do you have any additional information to that?
No, ma'am, it's just that all of you all are registered, so, for more information, just contact Kristen. She has, the availability for you, and if you're not able to make it, as the mayor's mentioned, you will be able to stream.
Thank you so much, City Manager. I know the police department has something, and I don't know if Captain Deming is going to say anything about a Feed the Community. I believe is it Thursday?
I'm sorry,
The police departments,
We have an event tomorrow that
oh, it's tomorrow.
move out, starts at 12:30.
Yes, sir. I was trying to get it together. It was a T. It wasn't Thursday, it's Tuesday. So it's tomorrow at 12:30. You're feeding the community, and folks just need to drive to the municipal building?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. And I think that's all the announcements. Mayor Pro Tem, did you have something? I saw you.
I was just going to comment with respect to the optimism of the restaurant manager who is in here. I think there is a good reason to be optimistic on the economy coming up. I just read an article, I don't remember if it was either The Economist or Wall Street Journal, that there's something on the order of literally $5 trillion worldwide that's sitting in people's pockets right now, waiting to be sent. That's how much money was just left that wasn't spent over the last year because of the pandemic. So there's going to be a bit of an explosion of economic opportunity, I think, over the next few months. So I think we all have a reason to be optimistic for the businesses in this community, especially.
That's great. That's great news. Any other comments, announcements, or anything from council members? Okay, thank you so much. Then we'll move on down with our staff, updates from our city staff. Our city attorney, Mr. Joel Dodson.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Staff attorney, Ms. Lynn Woodward.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Chief of Police, we have the police department. Thank you so much. Our city manager, Ms. Marsha Hampton.
Yes, ma'am, I would just say that, I echo each of you all on the MOU that was signed. It's been a long journey, so, we know that it is step one, so we'll be working hard. There'll be several meetings, coming up, so there'll be a lot of things that you all, that will be before you over the next 3 months to get us over that next hurdle to see dirt moving, so a couple steps, but we'll get there. Also, just to remind you that part of, that process is money, so you workshops, next Monday and Tuesday. So, we have prepared a pack day for you, so each day we'll try to do our best to get you out of there, slightly a bit early. And then on Tuesday, the 22nd, your last day, you all had requested a special transportation, committee meeting, and it will be following, that budget workshop. So that has been an advertised meeting, so even if you're not on the transportation committee, you're welcome to stay. It is advertised so that we can make certain that we are not infringing upon, going over a quorum. So, we are there as long as you need us there for that meeting.
Not Tuesday, did you say? The 27th, not the 22nd? 27th, okay, okay.
That is the last day of your budget workshops, and there was a request for a special transportation committee meeting, so we're gonna hold that after, your last day of your budget workshop. So if anybody's interested in staying for that, if you're not on the transportation committee, you're welcome to, since we've already advertised for it.
Can we possibly make a special attempt to let the HOA know in Arbor Station, because obviously they have a particular interest in that, if I'm understanding that correctly, that is the purpose of the meeting, or part of the purpose of the meeting, so.
We can, Ms. Emily, can you make certain to get that information out to the HOA?
Are they going to be giving comments?
It's a committee meeting, and typically, you all's protocol for committee meetings are not to allow for comment. So, Madam
they
Mayor,
can
you may
listen.
want to discuss that with the Transportation Committee Chair to see how you want to handle that. But typically, as you know, we don't.
Yeah, I've already spoken with her. She said she didn't want to have comments, so I wanted to make certain that that was, but she said she didn't mind people coming to listen, but she didn't want to open it up to have extend beyond and have a lot of conversation going on, because we've had a council meeting where citizens came forward and was on the virtual. So for committee, she said she wanted us to work through the issues without opening it up for that.
Yes, ma'am. All right.
Okay.
And those are my comments, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much. City Manager, could you just speak to Care Here and the COVID vaccines for employees and their families? I'm sure they have it.
As of today, the vote that you all approve, we will now have an agreement with Care Here that allows us to extend vaccines to dependents. I will make certain that HR sends out that communication to anyone who is interested in getting their dependent vaccinated. I will state that the vaccines that are at Care Here are limited because we are getting those vaccines in partnership with the Department of Public Health. So as they supply vaccines to Care Here, we will make certain to send out. So on a first-come, first-served basis, you have to register just like you have to do at any other site. But as long as you are an employee, your dependent will be eligible to receive a vaccine at our wellness center. Very good. Thank you so much, City Manager, to you and HR for working everything out. We really appreciate that. Is there any staff reports? No, ma'am.
Okay. Do we have any comments from citizens and delegates? Ms. Jackson, we have anyone online? Thank you. Anyone? It doesn't look like anyone's in the audience, but anyone want to speak? You have 5 minutes to come before us, and you can give us your concerns, anything that's related to city business. Okay. If not, then we don't have any other business to come before us. This meeting is adjourned.